Hi, I'm Michael Savant. I'm here with Numark today to talk to you a little bit about mappings with the 4TRAK and Traktor. First thing I'm going to show you is how to get back to your original settings. Mapping can be a little scary at first. I assure you it's not. For someone who's just getting into it, I'll let you know that a mapping is a file that holds all of your MIDI information, be it factory preset or custom. The 4TRAK itself comes set up to run out of the box with Traktor software, but there are buttons on the unit that you can custom assign. I'll show you how to do that a little later on in the video. But first I'm going to show you how to get back to your original settings in the instance that you have created a custom mapping and there's some sort of issue with it, or you may have corrupted the mapping that comes with it. So we're going to click on the Preference button right here and go down to Controller Manager. And to go back to your original settings, all you do is hit Setup Wizard here, click Finish, and you're good to go. All of your mappings will be in here. The only other thing you want to do is select each one. So 4TRAK main, which is your main unit, and you're going to do MIDI in and 4TRAK MIDI out. And then you go to your FX unit, which is the FX Command Console along the top, and you want to do FX in, FX out, hit close, and you should be good to go. Okay, so that's how to get back to your basic mapping that you start with. Now next I'll show you how to load a custom mapping into your unit. As you create a mapping, the first thing you're going to want to do is export it. The way to do that is you select the mapping that you made. So in this instance it would be the 4TRAK main, and then you hit export. And you'll see here you have options of what to export with it. Your keyboard mapping, unless you created any custom keyboard mappings to go along with it, you want to deselect that. So you want controller mappings highlighted. I would uncheck favorites, because that's whatever you would assign for the favorites bar up here. And then I tend to leave effects settings checked, because it takes a while to get all of your effects settings across the top to where you want them. So this will actually embed it into the mapping. And then you hit OK. And then it's going to ask you what you want to name it. So we'll call this Traktor Mapping 3. And I'm going to save it to the desktop. Then you click Save. And it's easy as that. Now I'll show you how to load that mapping back in. So you're going to go back in your Preference tab, back down to Controller Manager. The first thing you want to do is take the mapping that you're already working with, and you're going to want to delete it. So you hit Edit, Delete, and Yes. And now you'll see that you don't have that mapping in there anymore. So now you want to add, import, then we're going to go to the desktop, scroll down to the mapping, let's see, there we go. So you click the mapping itself, open, and you should be all set. There we go. And you see, this is a good example of what I was talking about, how you should get rid of both of them. So we have two instances of the effects mapping here right now. So we're going to click this one right here. We're going to do Edit, Delete, Yes. And then you just close it out, and you should be good to go. So that's it. It's pretty much all there is to know about mapping. As far as loading and exporting them goes, the other thing that I will show you is how to assign these buttons right here. So on the unit you'll see on the right and left hand side here, you have buttons that say Assign underneath them. You'll see you have faders, knobs, and 3 buttons across the top. These were left specifically by Numark as assigned buttons. You can assign them to any function within the Traktor software that you want. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go back into Preferences and say we want to assign this fader right here. And we want to assign it to a filter. So we're going to do back in the controller manager, and we're going to do add in. The difference between in and out is that the unit sends MIDI into the Traktor software, which would be a movement like this, and all the LEDs are a good example of MIDI that's sent out. So when you actually hit play and you see the LEDs moving, it's receiving MIDI from the software. So we're going to set a MIDI in. So we're going to do add in, and then we're going to do effects, and then we're going to say, let's see, there we go. And we do effect 1 amount. And then we hit learn. You move it, and it says assign fader. And then that's it. You hit close. And now we're going to see that this assigned to effect 1 right here. We'll assign that to filter. Start the track going. We're going to turn the first effects group on. The filter is on. And you'll see that we've correctly assigned this to control the filter. Now, once you get a few of these done and you want to save them, you're going to go back into your preferences under Controller Manager, and then you're just going to want to export the file again. And when you export it, that's going to save this custom mapping that you've made. The one thing you want to make sure you do is to rename it something different than the original mapping, so that way you don't get confused. And that's it. Mapping is something that seems maybe a little scary or intimidating at first, but keep in mind that you can always use a setup wizard to go back to your original settings, and there's nothing to fear. So that's it, mapping with the Numark 4TRAK and Traktor software.